Here on lichess and Twitch, Sladgie on Twitch. You guys know me as Sparkle Horse on lichess, otherwise known as International Master Will Paschall. We are streaming from Budapest, Hungary. Actually planning on going in the summer back to my home country of the United States for a couple of months. So the stream time will change during the summer months of July and August. I'll keep you guys posted as far as that goes. Today's theme is Weird Wednesday, which means we're trying to play unusual systems, unusual openings that I don't normally play. Slightly outside the norm. It doesn't have to be like really bad, crazy, absurd stuff, but different openings that I don't normally play, a little bit on the margins. So it makes it fun, and we're playing our usual time controls between 5+3 and 7+3, so either blitz or kind of fast rabbit chess. 5+3 through 7+3. You can make a challenge if you want to. 5+3, 5+4, 5+5, 6+3, etc. Up to 6+5, and then the highest time control or the longest time control I'm willing to play is 7+3. What time is it where I'm at? It is 10 o'clock in the morning. That is our starting time. I actually started 1 minute early. Ayesta the Destroyer, what's up? Ayesta clearly won the tournament yesterday. We didn't have too much concurrencia, say in Hungarian they use that. I don't know why. Concurrencia, not too many other higher rated players. Like I was the only, well actually there was one other 2400 player, but no players like in the 2200s really. But Ayesta was impressive. He played like a master yesterday. Got a little bit lucky against me. I had a breakdown in an ending where I forgot my king can move backwards. But I'm still getting over it. It would be good to just not panic when you have like 25 seconds on the clock. Augustus challenged me, Augustus717. But I am taking the subscriber challenges first, guys. People who subscribe, as a reward for subscribing, I owe it to them and something to give back. So I do take the subscriber challenges first. We'll try to get to that challenge from Augustus. Troll in a Roll is also not a subscriber now, so I'm going to play Morwa and Tushar Kamde first. I gotta remember, that it's weird openings today, so that's the idea. I forget sometimes the other thing is if I play Troll first, you actually won 4 fast kings because of nonsense berserk. But it just like flustered your opponents. Because when I try to berserk, I don't know, I forget that I have no increment and lose on time or something. Once I get over that part, I probably would do a little bit better. Alright, unusual openings here. Morwa has, Budapest Gambit for the repertoire? I realize there just aren't that many unusual openings. Let's try the Saragossa opening with C3. No, you only did 1 berserk. Oh, you won 4 fast games because the other guys berserked. Neil Skinner is checking if he's still subscribing. You are. Dude, you just answered your question. How to see if I'm still subscribing? We see that you're still subscribing. Yeah, not too many people who... Actually, not too many people were berserking at all. So Saragossa opening. He just plays knight f6. This opening doesn't have a lot of independent significance, but I've played it on a couple of occasions. We're probably going to transpose to something like the Tory attack or the London system. Or the Kali system we can play. Okay, let's try. Not to commit ourselves just yet. Flexible setup with knight f6 and e6. Okay, c3 is basically a passive move. Everybody plays the London system, so I'm going to go with bishop g5. I need to play a little faster because this is 5+3 and I'm acting like it's 7+3. Go cut your nails, grab a beer, maybe some vodka. Nothing like drinking in the morning if you want to have a really, really crazy day. Knight on bd2. Get the pieces developed here. Now he played bishop e7. The classical way to play such positions is like c5, Knight c6. Try to get the maximum pressure on e5 and get control of that square. But it looks like with this setup, he's aiming for a fianchetto. I was thinking something weird like queen b1 playing for e4. I think black can play c5. Queen b1 is a little bit strange. It is a move you might see later on down the line, though. Maybe not an absurd idea. If I put my bishop on e2, then I would, you know, avert things like knight e4. I didn't want to see the knight coming to e4 and not be able to capture it. But this is a little bit outside the usual. Okay, this is also a theme in the London. Excuse me. Knight e5, h6, bishop h4, knight takes e5, d takes e5, knight d7. Not really sure what to do here. You know, the f4 doesn't work that well. That's sort of stonewall attack once he plays h6. I'm going out on a limb with this queen on b1. You know, I never play this type of system. Now here I am. Bishop f4 is interesting because if knight h5, bishop e5. That might be kind of awkward for black. Yeah, I asked that. I mean, what disturbs me is like my panicking with 23 seconds left or something. I mean, I'm obviously not playing enough fast blitz. If I lose my consciousness, you know, in a simple rook ending where it never occurred to me to move my king backward. I mean, it's crazy, you know. If there was just one rook on the board, it would have been like obvious, you know. But I don't know why. My reactions are too panicky here. Wow, he's weakening his position a little bit. What would Gadakamsky do? A lot of weaknesses around the black king side. That move is absolutely essential. He has f5, just keeping it locked up. Maybe I can change the game with c4. Alright, let's try something different. It's not a lot of time here. 400 games rated. He doesn't like to play rated. What can you do? Maybe I could play bishop b5 there. I didn't expect this shutting down the queen side. Bourgeois has tons of space. Wow. I better break out. Well, I suppose I can defend this knight with the other knight. Or not. Wow, this is kind of a weird situation. I'm not planning on sacrificing a piece here. We could play b3. I think I'm going to have to play f3. It's going to get a little bit hairy, but that's really the only way to free myself. I've got everything bearing down on e4. Wow, he's just going to do that? Takes. Alright. I don't know. Like, he's just calling all the shots here. Queen g5. That's a very strong move. Didn't see it at all. Wow. Crazy position. Yeah, too sharp. Especially young players are very inconsistent. It's not like he's, you know, he's just a kid, so he's gonna have good games and bad games. Yeah, are you really? Are you an investigator? Good question. Check. Now, do I actually have anything here? Chess investigations. Mario. I don't know, but it would be nice to know who Mario is. He's basically like walking into this. What is this like? Oh my god. There's nothing for me here. I don't know what to do. Alright, I don't know that this even works. I need some sort of move here. This. Knight d7. It's probably just getting mated, huh? "14 seconds left. Bishop takes instantly. Just wins. Speed is unbelievable. Look at his speed. Hungarian police helicopter on the way. We have a saving move here. Well, he allowed this? Oh, it's forced. Uh-huh. Not 100% clear this ending. I doubt that I'm better. Maybe. has such a massive time lead. Yeah, that's absolutely the best move possible for black, rook e8. He actually had to take a little bit of time to find it. I couldn't take on the pawn there. I don't know how much he calculated, but finding rook e8 was pretty brilliant. He's got a 30-second time edge. It's a lot. He's got the bishops. But my rook is like trapped in mid-board. Wow. And he finds it instantly. Play is really good. Man. Damn, his play is unbelievable fast. Look how strong he is. Whoa, are you kidding me? Perfect technique, no time. What a game, man. Wow. Check this out. His endgame play was insane. Like, insanely good and fast. Damn, dude. This is a really, really, really good game. But I mean, he is kind of lucky. I mean, to walk into this thing with like knight g6 check without calculating anything, I mean, it's just a miracle that this is okay for black. That's just pure luck. Here I should have played knight e6. I'm an idiot. You know, I didn't see this idea to play knight e6 and knight f4. I ended up playing actually knight g6. I mean, why not? The same thing. To play knight g6 and knight f4. I played knight d7 with the idea of putting my knight on e5, but it's not as good. He has the bishop takes. The point is, and he found this move like instantly, by the way, bishop takes g3. I was looking at queen takes. You know, after knight e6 I'm hitting his queen, so he can't play bishop takes g3. This is just better for white, I guess. Now I can play knight f4 if I have to. He can't play g5 because it weakens his king side too much. So it was really bad play knight d7. That was, and the endgame was also, you know, the whole thing is like he was always much faster than me. I don't know what his bullet rating is, but he's insanely fast. It's pretty crazy. This wasn't a perfect game, but it was a lot of fun. All right, guys, let's play another. Actually, a lot of mistakes by both sides there, but I'm impressed by Morwa's like speed. You know, you'd think he would be like 2200 in bullet. I mean, the speed at which he plays, it's very, very fast, and the technique at the end was excellent. Troll in a Roll is not subscribing. We got Tushar Kemde next. All right, good way to start today to lose. Anyway, guys, it happens. It happens. He missed mate in one. Yeah, man. Easy to be a backseat driver and point out all the mistakes the computer said. But, you know, we all make mistakes. Of course, we saw Queen D8 mate. Alright, unusual openings. Let's play the Owen defense here. B6. Move 50. What's that, mate? Is that what you're talking about? The mate in one? Alright, there's nothing to really do here. Especially interesting. E5, maybe? You could play F5. I like the double fianchetto. If White's going to do nothing, we can do a double fianchetto. But I lost my mind there. I mean, I was disappointed there wasn't any winning attack or anything. And I just played like the sloppy move after that combination, or whatever you want to call it, you know. Knight d7 was really bad. I had a chance to draw and move 50. Okay, well, I'm not surprised. But I had no time. He never gave me any time to think. He was just moving really fast, except for the one time when he thought on... I guess rook e8. He thought for like 20 seconds. That was the only move he thought on the whole game, which was a really good move, by the way. Offering me his h pawn with check. Wonder if for e5 is knight h4 a dubious idea after e. Yeah, I mean generally knight h4 is something you want to do. Well, I mean no, it can be good. Everybody's challenging me to 5+3. You guys can challenge me to longer games. I mean, the 6+3, the 7+3 gives you more time to play. I mean, these guys just want to play fast. It seems like Morwa and Tushar like to play super fast. But if you want an instructive game, it's better to challenge me to like 6+3 or 7+3. We can both think more, and we get more for our money, basically. I'm thinking about knight d2. Give him the center. Maybe it's more practical just to go d5 here. 7+5. No, too long. It's like 20 minutes. Those games, the games can be like 20 minutes long. The 7+5. 7+3 is long enough. I'm used to the 3-second increment now anyway, so it's better to just kind of stick. Anyway, well, you can challenge me to 6+5 if you want to. Not very... Yes, you can challenge to 5+5. I said that at the beginning of the stream. Probably nobody heard me because they weren't tuned in yet. Yeah, we can do anything. 6+3, 5+3, 5+5, 6+5. Just that the max time control is 7+3. That's because it gets really long. We did the 8+3 before. And 7+5s, and they get to be like 20 minutes long, those games. That makes a big difference. I don't want to do like 20 minutes. 15 minutes is really like the... Like 15 minutes per game is kind of what we're shooting for here, as a max time. Okay, white setup is a little... It's a little slow, but it's like he's black, basically. Guess I could have done 94 there. He's basically playing like a Queen's Indian in reverse or something, with a knight on a3. Yeah, I like the 5+5. Knight c2. Not optimal. That knight is kind of Ilinchich. I guess knight e4 just forces him to develop, but I'm following up with e5. Okay, still his position is solid, but the knight on c2 is a problem. It doesn't have a bright future. It gets in the way of like rook on c1 and stuff like that. Yeah, it's solidly played with white, but okay, what are we gonna do? Back off, avoid exchanges. We're effectively white here. Does e5 weaken your pawn for the g2 bishop? You mean my d5 pawn? Man, this really looks like a Catalan. That was an aggressive move, c4. Why don't I just chop on d4 and then play e4? Now his knight on c2 looks actually pretty good. On the other hand, my knight can swing into f5. So much for that theory, huh? Well, he's playing this to undermine my center. I can consider taking on c4. Having crazy hallucinations here. I could play like knight to c5. What am I thinking? Okay, the d6 knight is not really stable. Just gonna reinforce my center. Doesn't seem like he's calculating too much with an instant move there. I was a little concerned about c5, but it was too early to panic on that. Maybe I shouldn't give up my center. Wow. His knight on c4 is strong, but I also... like the fact that his pawn is isolated. I don't know what to do here. Maybe knight f6. Complicated position now. This is possibly a mistake. I didn't think he would exchange that, but he's just coming with another one, so... Where should I put my queen? It's kind of awkward no matter where I put it. I guess I have to put it on e6. Yes, it's possible for him to play f3, but it's kind of like my game with Serbian Santa Claus yesterday. It's risky for everyone involved. Now he's got a time lead too. Yeah, these challenges are a little too fast. I don't like constantly playing 5 plus 3. It seems like we're just basically playing on time for time. I do that on Fridays, but let's try to keep it, longer if we can. We can play longer, it's better. It seems like Tushar Kande is just like fishing around here. His queen is really not coordinated with the rest of the pieces, although he has bishop a3. I just don't have time to think about my moves. I'm just reacting mindlessly, like a bullet game. There's no time to find the best move. And talk about the game too. Yeah, try not to follow this 5+3 trend. I mean, I'd rather play 6+3 or 7+3, 6+5, 7+5. This is just not that much time. I'd rather play the rapid games if possible, something a little bit longer. This queen is very awkward there. At the same time, it's kind of weird to pull my bishop away from b7, where it was kind of overprotecting e4 for this cheapo. It doesn't do anything. I mean, I guess I can play f4. Yeah, it does do something. All right. He played f4. Understandable. Sacrificing the queen, anyone? It's probably not too sound. We do have a protected passed pawn now, and his queen is extremely strangely placed on h3. I guess there are other issues. I'm not sure this actually works. He had knight takes b6 there. So that was kind of a tactical oversight. You think bishop takes f4 was good? Wow. I had to sacrifice. Now we're just slightly better strategically. He's got the bad bishop on b2. I mean, I don't mind just trading it for my bishop, playing with knight against... Good knight against bad bishop. We have combinations with rook takes b2 and check with knight e3, but it looks like a big exchange. Just exchanging all the pieces. So... not that easy to break through here. But it's very difficult for white to defend. Actually, I had e3 winning. I need to just calculate a little bit more. Okay, he just resigned. I had e3 just winning last move. That's what I'm talking about, like panicking when I have 30 seconds left. Knight e3 immediately was good? What? Like here? Knight e3 immediately. But I think the Tushar had an interesting position. You know, if we go back to like this point, I don't think that white is worse here. Yeah, the engine thinks he's better. Okay, it's not clear, but the computer didn't like this exchange. And it was a weird way you went with the queen out to like h4. I didn't like that plan. Okay, Valido. I guess Valido. Haberbomb used to be a subscriber. I mean, we've definitely got... I don't see Morales. Are you challenging me? Who is challenging me that's a subscriber? Alright, Valido. Maybe Haberbomb and Mule Skinner at the moment. I will take Troll on a roll probably next game. Alright, Troll, if you want to stay that long, you're a former subscriber. You've been fairly faithful to the stream, so I'm going to take Troll on a roll next. And he's going to subscribe. Alright. I'm going to blackmail him into subscribing. I'm going to play b6. I'm supposed to play an unusual opening. It's hard to do that against knight f3. Alright, let's try something. I did play b6 here. That's semi-unusual. I got my ass kicked by Igor Foigl once when I tried to do this. But let's do another double fianchetto setup, just to make it a little bit unusual. Turkey threw a challenge out, but I'm going to take a smoke break. Okay. Turkey farmer. Well, I mean, the critical line is like bishop g5. That's what Foigl played against me. It seems like bishop g5 is always good against slow stuff. Then I played like knight e4, and he did bishop h4. But I looked at that in the opening explorer, and actually black has done okay in those positions. So maybe I didn't lose to Igor because of the opening. It was more like just he's a better player than me. Especially back then. It was like 1995 or something. Maybe a little later than that. Maybe 1999. I don't remember. Okay, bishop b2, castles. You change your challenge. Okay, this is 7+3, so we can take our time. In fact, very similar to the last game. I am going to try to play unusual openings, but these games have been this kind of closed, hyper-modern stuff. Nothing really exciting. Here again, maybe I should think about knight e4. Looks a little early. Better early than never. Is that that's not a saying. Better late than never. What is the true definition of accepted opening theory? Yeah, that's kind of a good question, Kowalski. It's sort of like, what is the true name of openings? Like, who gave people the right to call something names? I don't consider opening theory to be like there was one game played by one grandmaster, you know, that's in the lichess opening. That's not book, you know. I mean, I think that established variations are, and opening theory is we're talking. It should be just things that there was a lot of material on, a lot of games played, you know, not just like a couple obscure games. Well, this is a very standard sort of position. We would call it a kind of Coley-Kaltnowski system. Well, no, I think it's the amount of games. Like, there have to be a certain amount of games for it to be, I would call it to be theory, you know. Okay, everything is changing with the internet. I mean, it used to be just a question of what was in the book. You know, we call things book, right? Because it was in a book. It was literally book. Now, book becomes more difficult to define. I don't know where Alekhine's opening has ever been seen before. What? Had never been seen before. No, I mean, the Alekhine's defense is quite old, actually. $54 viewers. We've had quite a few viewers in the morning streams. Zoltán Varga, one of my teammates in the Hungarian Team Championship, is a grandmaster who plays the Alekhine's defense, and he was saying like the funny thing about Alekhine's defense or whatever is, years ago, like 100 years ago or whatever it was first played, they did knight g8 a lot, and I never knew that, you know. But Zoltán probably knows what he's talking about. Zoltán. said Zoltan. That's my Americanisms coming out. Okay, Queen E2. This is... Valido is playing the Koltanowski system here very incisively. Queen problem. Zoli. Oh, have you met Zoli, Contra Chess? Just know the name Zoli. Okay, Zoli plays Aliakin. Contra Chess, what's up with the website, man? Ready to roll it out? I mean, I know you have it up, but it's in beta or whatever. Alright, Rook on A to C1. You know about 400 Zolis. Very common name. Unique to Hungarian. It's like an ancient Hungarian name. I've got a queen problem. No good place to put the queen. Maybe we have a place we can put it. Let's capture here first now. Eventually this is bound to happen. Releasing the tension. Alright, I was thinking of putting my queen on F4 actually. Kind of standard Catalan thing. Is Valida's rating going up, or that's just his... He's 1900 correspondence, 1600 blitz. Having some tough games here. I don't know where to put my queen. When I moved to the US, I'm usually streaming in the afternoons and evenings, USA time. But that'll be in July and August. You guys should check out Contra Chess's site. New chess site. I don't know what to do. Don't have a good square for Mrs. Queen. This is a really strange move. Knight E8. But I'm bringing this down on D4. And that will sort of discourage white from playing C4. Oddly enough. Okay, it's not an unheard of maneuver. We do it in the Dutch Stonewall, for example. Alexander Botez. Alright, what are we talking about? Is that like a porn star or something? I don't know anything. I'm just assuming when people like say random names, they're like trolling me somehow. So it's a new chess site. I live in the US in Massachusetts. East Coast. So I'm Eastern time. Alright. 94. 95. Excuse me. F6. Should I kick him out? Well, we can kick him out. Maybe a move later. Man, this guy seems strong. I don't like his rating. It just seems bogus. He's already got 2 draws against me. He's extremely solid, and he plays the openings like perfectly. She's a streamer, but like not a chess streamer. You mean like Hungarian, like just game streamer? What time does my alarm clock go off? 8:45 a.m. I don't live in Boston. You guys want my address? Yeah, chess streamer. What? Dude, if it was a Hungarian chess streamer, then I would know who they were. Alright. Dude, I know who Anna Rudolph is, but this other person they're talking about, I don't know who they're talking about. Who is Who's Alexandra Botez? I've only lived in Hungary for like 14 years, you know. I pretty much know every Hungarian chess player there is to know. It would be hard to get one, to slip one past me. What is it, like 10 years old girl? An American from Canada. Yeah, it's hard to know the Hungarians from Canada. That I can't really be up on. Like a third generation Hungarian from Canada. Yeah, I'm not really like knowledgeable about that. Getting a little nervous here. This guy is really putting pressure on me. He's 1700. Not too many people are capable of playing the system that well. It looks like he's playing it perfectly. If I ever saw her dad on stream, you would know. What would I know? All right. $15-10. Alright guys, let me concentrate on the game here. Can white strike with c4? It doesn't seem like he wants to play that way. You know, he's played f4 more of like a stonewall attack. Yes, of course c4, I've been kind of gearing for that like the whole game. But I mean, I'm putting pressure on the d4 pawn. He seems like he doesn't want to have trouble with that. Yeah. Well, I have kind of close connections to Romania myself, so been there many times. Hungarians from Romania, you know, like Vida Levente. There's quite a few strong players from Romania who are Hungarian Romanian. All right, Queen G4 now. This is kind of a weird move. Psychic network, like preventing F6, which is what I was trying to do. I have Knight F5. That's an interesting move. Quite solid. This is just a totally random move. That wasn't my plan. But I'm attacking D4. I'm threatening E3. Just a simple tactic with a double threat. I want white to give up the knight on E5. I can't play F6. 15 marks out of 10. That's hard to do. I'm so literal. I'm like, wait, that's not possible. You guys want to take with the G pawn here? I mean, actually, it's not as safe as taking with the other pawn, but it's certainly playable. This is safer. But he lost some of his advantage. I mean, the white square bishop is really a good piece. Maybe white wasn't that much better in the first place. Now it's stabilized, though. I think white loses all their attacking chances when that white square bishop leaves the board. Still, he's pretty solid, obviously. It's going to be hard for me to make progress. But now this I didn't expect. Like, I don't know, I feel like black has the initiative. I didn't think he would avoid exchanges himself. Thought he would trade on c6. I want to activate my pieces. That white square bishop is kind of the jolly joker, right? They say that in Europe. Germany and Eastern Europe and maybe all of Europe. Jolly joker. So instead of just joker, it's always jolly joker. Wow, this is double-edged. Just a patient move by black. Irish pawns. When Irish pawns are smiling here. Alright. Playing for structure. Unlike the two-shard game, there's no knights coming e5 without a Steinitzian piece sacrifice. Maybe he'll sack a piece for a massive armada. Unleashing the armada. Assuming Magnus what? Doesn't lose his marbles? I mean, I don't know. Like, it doesn't seem like anybody's really as strong as Carlsen. It's weird. You'd think they'd be closer. I've been playing badly in time pressure. I just sort of panic when I have more time. Actually, I'm not sure if I like that move. Let's keep the queens on. I didn't like queen takes d5, knight b4. Queen takes... blah, blah. Queen takes... Okay, we're just better now. Massaging. The white square bishop vastly improved. Now I've got a pawn if I want to. I guess we should take it. It's actually not a pawn. So we should trade rooks. Now we can win a pawn. I feel so greedy. Like, big mistake, actually. Maybe not. But I don't want to self-pin myself here. If queen b3 or queen c4, I need to play like queen d5 probably. Valito not going down without a fight. Another good move. Wow, he's fast. He deserves to win this. Obviously. Everybody's fast, seems like. What's that about? He's really lost now. Unless I let the pass pawn get out of control. What am I doing? Three connect to pass pawns. Only two. Man. Almost flagging. Okay, I'm really tired of this game. Should have played rook g7 there. I mean, everybody's like a bullet genius. No, I mean, Carlsen isn't going to be guaranteed to win every match he plays. If he can barely beat Karyakin, you know, I'm not convinced. Like, this is the first time he's had a really, really serious test. I mean, we didn't think Karyakin would be a serious test, and it was, you know, so imagine. Caruana might be even bigger problems. I mean, Carlsen has been world champion for a long time because of these stupid matches with like Anand. You know, I mean, if you had him playing someone who could really beat him in the first two matches, whereas Anand had like no chance. You know, so he basically had a free pass for like what, like 40 years without, you know, any chance of him not being world champion. Now finally he's playing somebody, you know, who can beat him. All right. Alright, lots of challenges. I'm going to play Troll in a Roll, and then I'm going to take the rest of the subscribers. Well, I mean, you know, speed chess is another story. Grishuk is very good at speed chess. Chess 960. No more Chess 960 today. Just this one game, guys. Yeah, Valido, you seem quite strong. You're underrated. Maybe G6 here for black. And then I'm wondering why I played C4. G5, even better. Now my B pawn is like ridiculous. I guess I can play D4. That seems like the only justification. No, that's not my queen on D1. That's a common problem with Chess 960. Hallucinating that the pieces are on their normal squares. Man, so D3, queen takes B2, bishop C3, he gets out. I can't do that. This is terrible for me. I just hung a knight. All right. It's not that clear. I take on H7 and then take his rook. We lose 2 pieces for a rook. We'll play it. Well, there was an excuse that he lost the title Arena because he had internet problems. But I mean, that happens to everyone. So we're all in the equal territory there. Yeah, he had problems with his internet. But then again, so does everyone else. They just don't make the news for it. Okay, so what do we got here? A rook and a pawn for 2 pieces. That's standard material balance, right? But the problem with that theory is that black is possibly going to be, you know, he's going to be more able to put his minor pieces to use in he can more easily put his pieces to use. I got to think about his bishops and how to get my queen in the game here. Well, in the lichess article about the tournament, they said he did have problems. Too sharp. But I don't know. That's all I know, is what I read. He should win regardless, even if he's not connected to the internet, according to Tushar. That's hard to do. The Petrov could cause Magnus problems. I mean, he likes to play boring positions, so the Petrov's really right up his alley. I'm just devil's advocate for everything today, but I mean, the Petrov causes everybody problems, but I don't think that Magnus is opening dependent, you know. World champion who specializes in boring chess. It's amazing how good he is at bullet chess, but if you think about it, you know, it just comes down to technique. And Nakamura has said this, and many players have said this. I mean, in bullet chess, like, quick endgame technique is one of the best skills you can have. I mean, therefore Magnus is especially good. Man, I forgot I'm playing like Troll on a Roll. It's really weird not having my white squared bishop here. I wish I could have that back. You thought black would play g4. Yeah, g4 was definitely worthy of consideration. I like g4. Welcome everyone to my stream. I'm playing the subscribers first, Actually, Troll is not a subscriber. We're taking a break to play a game of Chess 960 here. This is an old position. Just talking about different stuff as we play. Of course, the topic of the World Championship always comes up. I really need to get my bishop in the game, no? Not sure Troll has a plan. He's a decent chess player. Who is Magnus? I'm not going to tell the story again where I analyzed him and I didn't know who he was. When I beat his dad. That was funny. It's like, that kid is so arrogant. He was pretty good, but he just seemed kind of arrogant for a punk. He was so cocky for just the 1500 or whatever. I thought. No, not really. He was a little cocky, but the way like a grandmaster should be, you know. We went head to head in the post-mortem with Magnus when I beat his dad. Alright. I just want to like trade off his bishop pair here, like bishop c3. Because the bishop pair is always more dangerous, you know, when it's in tandem. Well, when it is a bishop pair, you know. One bishop, you can kind of put all your pawns on the right color, you know, and just kind of make it a ghost or something. But when you're dealing with two bishops, you never know, like, which color complex you're going to be safe on. Tell us about Nakamura, then. Carlsen has a 3-1 advantage against Caruana. Somehow... You mean like in betting or something? I like those odds. You know, I would bet on Caruana. I would bet on Caruana if you gave me 3-1 odds. Probably. With odds that good. I would think it should be much closer. 2.5 or something like that. You mean in past games? Okay, if people are going to start talking about games, then please weed out the like rapid and blitz games. Caruana's like terrible at blitz. I mean, compared to Magnus and like Nakamura or whatever, it seems like Caruana isn't as good at blitz. He's good, you know, but not as good. So when you look at all the games between you know, someone was making this statistic on one site I saw about Kramnik and Carlsen, you know, and they were like, oh, Kramnik is like 20-2 against... I said, come on now. Actually, Kramnik was like -1 in long games. I think his lifetime score against Carlsen is like -1. And some guy was claiming that Carlsen had some massive score. Like, alright, whatever. Maybe I should abandon the H file here. Where am I going to go? Queen H1. But we have to make sure that you're talking about just long games. Okay, no mentioning chess.com. What a survey. The survey of 1200 says that, and even like the average rating of the survey that they took on chess.com, -8 in classic games. He's definitely going to have a worse score than Kramnik, because he's, you know, Kramnik had a solid, like, plus against Carlsen at first. So a player of similar age to Carlsen is going to have... Actually, I mean, yeah, they're similar. Caruana started to get strong around 2000, I want to say 2006. But Carlsen was stronger a little sooner, probably. So Caruana was a little bit later to develop. I'm not sure about their exact ages. I was really shocked by Caruana though, because like I played him in 2005 and he was only around like 2450. I played Carlsen in 2006, and he was already like 2600. Yes, Tushar, and 3 million people are logged into chess.com right now. You can't believe everything you read. Right now, chess.com has 3 million players logged on. They're close in age. I never, ever thought that Caruana would be that strong. It seemed like he would just be like an average grandmaster or something like that. I don't know exactly what made him exceptional. You know, when I played him in 2005 or 2004, he didn't seem exceptional at all. But that, like, he moved to when he moved from the United States to Italy, like, something just clicked, you know. I don't know if they just got him like tons of trainers or what happened, but he was just like night and day. Like a year later, he had gained like 150 rating points or something. Something just snapped, and suddenly Caruana was like really, really good. Whereas it seemed like Carlsen was more steady, you know. Kind of more steady in his improvement. It's King Crusher. I can't watch it. Magnus was born in 1990. Good year. Whoa, E5. That's the way you want to be about it. What am I gonna do? Yeah, it's like the secret castling rights. I'm a little concerned about my king in the center now. Maybe I should have bailed out right there. I waited too long on this. Maybe nearly losing material. Whoa, he could have played e4. He should have played e4, I mean, no doubt. If I lose a pawn, it's not the end of the world. He played d4, though. That doesn't seem right at all. Troll is worse than me with the clock. But, I mean, once the queens are off, I'm fine. I think he was just better. If he finds a line with e4, takes on c4, opens the position. Just opening the position. We just don't panic here. Sound pawn structure. He lived in Austria? What? Well, I guess Italy is pretty close to Austria. Do we have a border there? Or does Italy just border with Switzerland? How do you know this stuff? Horse Feathers. Who is Horse Feathers? Horse Feathers, are you new to the stream? How do you know so much? 65 viewers. Yeah, there must be a good day today. Today was a good day. It's like Ice Cube. Uh-oh. No, we have a fork. Alright. Troll, you were better. Look at this. He has to be like almost winning after e5. Plus 0.8 here for black. Okay, the whole conception was bad, you know, to allow him to do this thing. I didn't really mean to do it. But black has a big advantage. And then after this, after castle's queenside, it gets even bigger. He could have, like, definitely messed me up. And then I played this. And e4 is like +4. I just left my king in the center. This is not a good position. But the opening is bad. I mean, I definitely shouldn't let him do that. The first move was bad. I mean, c4 is probably bad. No, the computer doesn't think it's that bad. What am I supposed to do after this? Rook c3. Sack the pawn. Whoa. Okay, this is beyond my capabilities to play knight b3. The computer is seriously going to sack this pawn. That is insane. Okay, interesting idea. That's beyond my knowledge. The guy's not 1600. I mean, he's much stronger than that. I played a lot of games with him. I mean, he basically just loses on time every game, and he doesn't really play rated games. He plays more like 1900, I think. His actual strength. He just like loses on time. Usually, he's had a lot of winning positions against me. I mean, why would I be afraid? He has a winning position after 6 moves. Is why I'm afraid. You know, I don't care what my opponent's rating is. If I'm busted, then he's playing well. You know, I mean, this guy understands chess, just that he's slow, and oftentimes like he loses on time and winning positions and stuff. I mean, we shouldn't put that much faith in the ratings, especially on lichess. He has a terrible score against me, but in this opening, in this game, he plays really well. In the openings, he plays really, really well in chess 960. Much better than me. I always have a disadvantage every single time out of the opening. But this is really bad. This is just awful for white. You know, material is even, right? Does he have another move here? So he could have taken on a2. I had a very strange fear about this. So he takes on b3, and then I'm paralyzed. Check this out. So queen takes c2, queen takes a2. Where's my lag coming from? Queen takes a2, bishop takes g8. It's not forced, but I mean, otherwise I'm just lost. And now the a-pawn just comes down. I mean, is there any way I can defend against this? He also has d5, bishop a4. So, I mean, that's it. Like, that just wins, like, straight up for black. This is just over. I would think even a5 would be strong, to be honest. Like, maybe the computer doesn't see the horizon that much here with the a-pawn coming down, but even more crushing is d5. Okay, so I'm not playing much chess 960, and I'm terrible in the opening stage. I just play all the time people who are like 1700 who play like masters here. You just can't judge people by the ratings. There are various explanations for that. Alright. Unusual openings. Mule Skinner. I'm supposed to play something that we don't normally do. So let's play f4. I have a bot that lets spectators vote on what move to play. Oh, that's cool. Vote bot. It's a good idea. I would like to do that. F4 D5. Okay, let's try the Nimzo Larsen. This is a risky system, though. Maybe E3. The last time I played this was like a disaster. I think I played it circa 1999. And my opponent was like a 2150 USCF rated kid. And I let him play some kind of obvious peace win. I think I was rated over 2400 US, and it was like the guy was 2150, and I just dropped a piece. Alright, so guys, tomorrow I have to remind all the subscribers that we have our subscriber stream. If you guys subscribe to my Twitch stream, Thursday nights I do a stream where we analyze games submitted by the subscribers. So if you guys want to do that, subscribe. You can send me a game. Kasparov said we've entered the Carlsen era. Everyone has to have an era. You would think that that would become less prevalent, though. The playing field, like, evening more or less due to, like, it's easier to improve and get knowledge. You'd think, like, the eras would be smaller and smaller. Now he played e6, which I'm happy to see. The aforementioned game that I lost was, like, g6. That's the best defense for black. Queen's Indian in reverse. g6, bishop b2, bishop g7, etc., etc. Here we could actually transpose to Lasker Bauer, I guess. Famous game where Emanuel Lasker sacrificed both bishops on the king's side. Early 1900s. Okay, bishop e7. Yeah, so the idea of playing bishop d3 is kind of artificial, to be perfectly frank. I'm trying to remember how that combination actually even occurred. It's nice to have the longer time control of 7+3, though. I actually have time to think about my moves. We can play it like a Queen's Indian and just do like bishop e2. We can play also g3. I mean, I guess this is like the main line. It was 1889. Wow, horse feathers. Yeah, I said early 1900s. Yeah, it's hard to imagine that Lasker was actually playing in the 1800s. All right. The game was against a relatively, unknown master, but nevertheless, a classic. Justin Sarkar did that once against me when he was like a kid. He sacrifices both bishops on g7, h7, and then I escaped with my king. I evacuated after grabbing both bishops, but he had like a pawn on h6 and it queened, and we had this crazy middle game where it was literally like a middle game with queens, 2 queens for white against queen and 2 bishops and a pawn or something like that. It was just crazy, but I lost after a very long struggle. So, what is the plan here for white exactly? This is unusual opening stream, so I am playing things that I don't typically play. Alright, for lack of a better move, I'm going to play Queen's Indian style here. Steinitz lost his mind. Another player that's worthwhile to study. I like the classics. Since, there was no chess base when I was born, so we had to rely on books. 95, my generation. I mean, I've been playing with computer software, chess computer software, since the 80s, honestly, but it feels like only in the last 20 years has it really become extremely useful for chess training. Someone said rook g1. Yeah, that's like a total Emery Tate on... like stoned Emery Tate style. rook g1. I like to do that sort of thing too. It's not a bad idea probably. You very likely might find some weird, like, I want to say Pavel Blatny game or something. Like rook g1, I've definitely done that when I was drunk. Fun kind of thing to do. We could probably do it with the king on h1. The moment when you open a new chess book. And not only because you're into sniffing glue, but you actually really care about the content. Hey, where's our moderator? We've survived without our moderator today, and there's a lot of viewers. We got 59. Perfected the art of drawing. It's not about the art of drawing, man. I have a lot of draws too, but Geary plays a very stable game. I mean, I take it personally when people insult Geary. He simply doesn't gamble, and he's trying to play correctly. You know, then the bottom line is that chess between strong players often is a draw. You know, people give Geary a really hard time, but you couldn't really play much more correctly than that guy. You know, if you could play like that, if I could play as well as him, I'd be satisfied. All right, let's try knight a3. There's always this problem with the Queen's Indian. With the king on h1 and black castle kingside, yeah, I mean now the idea of rook g1, you know, and g4 g5, well, this is like a standard. This is a standard move. Horse feathers, you obviously don't know too much about me. I probably have as many draws as Geary in the last in the last year. My drawing percentage is probably as high as him. But look at the guy's games. He also has the lowest center pawn loss of like anybody in the top 20 probably. He just doesn't gamble, you know, like a lot of modern players are just gambling. Just objectively trying to play the best move without risk. Knight e4 is a weird move. Now maybe we do go here. Is he going to play f5? It didn't even occur to me that he might play f5. Yeah, like, the perfect game is probably a draw, for sure. I mean, chess is a draw, no doubt. It's probably not even close, you know. There's something weird about playing bishop d3 that I don't like. I have like way too many draws, so I take it personally when people insult Geary. It's like it's a weak spot. It's a weak point for me. I mean, there's just too many players between Geary and becoming like world champion, man. The guy doesn't have a realistic chance of that. You know, he's just a great player, but he's still not the top 5. And very likely, I mean, I know that I'll never be like in the top 50, and Geary probably won't make it to the top 5. We all have our limitations, you know. I'll never be in the top 100 or even close. But I admire him for, you know, his pure style and the way that he plays just absolutely correctly. And he makes an excellent second for Kramnik because they have such a similar approach to the game. A lot of people are always like backseat driving and saying like you should take more risks, but it's not that easy to do in practice. He's going for my bishop on d3, but he's dropping a pawn here. Maybe I just take with the knight. We're just up a pawn, right? He has a white square bishop with some compensation on the white squares, but a pawn is still a pawn. Okay, it's like a little difficult for white to coordinate this this position. I see the white square bishop becoming very strong. Ultimately, what's this? Yeah, maybe I even have attacking chances on the king's side, ironically. This gives him a tempo, but I wanted to transfer over here. Maybe I'm wrong, but it keeps g2 protected. I'm not a fan of the candidates tournament at all in general, because I think it's ridiculous to determine the qualifier of a match by a tournament. Seems sort of stupid. It's a totally different format of chess. I mean, if you want to have World Championship by matches, then you should determine the qualifier by matches. If you want to have World Championship by tournament, then determine the players by tournaments. Matches and tournaments are just different things and require different skills. But I think that it should go back to the way it was with, this is sort of a surprise, with World Championship being about matches. Now, maybe eventually we'll play g4, g5, but I don't see it happening right now. Like king g1. Actually, my king is just sitting there. He still has very good compensation for the pawn. You know, enough to make like the process of winning this position quite difficult. Why not just make it a bullet tournament to determine the World Championship horse feathers? You know, I think that's probably the optimal. That would just be faster and save money for FIDE. I mean, it would still be skill, you know, because there is skill in bullet chess too. And it would just save everyone a lot of time and money, you know, really. I guess we play f5. Alright. Giri will have like no chance in bullet anyway. Kramnik will just be done. Aronian won't even be in the tournament. No, but I mean like not mini matches, you know. I mean old school, like 80s 12 game matches and stuff like that, you know, with real time controls, not like game 30. You won't have people like who are like ranked 50th in the world winning, you know, against higher rated players. You'll have to have tie breaks eventually, but it hopefully doesn't come down to that. Good defense by Muleskinner. Eventually just lost on time. It's still just +1 for white. Exactly. It was like exactly +1. He's down a pawn, but he has that powerful bishop. It does make winning the game really problematic, you know. I mean, it would take me like 60 moves to convert this. Okay. Testosterone and Haberbomb and Acerbate. Acerbate, thanks for challenging, man. I know you don't usually like to play on the stream, but Haberbomb, you're still a subscriber. I haven't seen you in a while. Actually, I was thinking of you the other day because we had this line of the Nimzo that I played you many games in. I was thinking like I sometimes do h5 Shirazi style, but the last time I did that I lost, I think. How things stick with you. What are we gonna do against g3 though? I mean, how many unusual openings can you really come up with against moves like g3 and knight f3? It's very hard to play an unusual opening. h5 was one of the only moves that comes to mind. There's no b5, obviously. I played the Dutch already with white. I wanted to do something kind of different, you know. We'll try some kind of Chigorin type of setup. Matches like in the 80s. Well, no, there's no question that 12 games for the World Championship's not enough. Okay, it should be 24 games. You know, that's the first thing. The second thing is, okay, the candidates matches. The candidates matches, yeah, should be longer. You know, at least 8 to 12 games. Like the later stages of the candidates matches, like in the old days, the earlier rounds of the candidates matches, I guess, were like shorter, and then the finals were longer. You know, I mean, that kind of makes sense. So I thought we'll play this. Sedlak did this against me. Chigorin style defense for black. Definitely outside my normal repertoire. Well, I mean, candidates matches existed like long after Fischer. I mean, we had candidates matches like way into the late 80s. It worked fine. You know, but it seems this one tournament, you know how random one tournament is? It's just absolutely random. You know, you could have the candidates tournament, like you could run it 100 times, dude, and you'd have like different winners every single time, most likely. So it's just like, what are you proving? You know, I mean, the honest truth of the candidates tournament is that the result is semi-random. You know, that's all there is to it. You know, it's just, you can have the same tournament again and again, you'll get a different winner every time. It's just like who was lucky that tournament or whatever. I don't think you're really determining who the best player is with that format at all. Okay, why do I want to play Queen d7 here? This is a reversed London rapport, whatever, Jabava variation, I guess. I guess it's not essential to play Queen d7. We don't have to play that way. We can play more solidly here. I think with black it's more justified. When you're white, you have an extra move, and you can try to do this. You can try to do the super aggressive Queen d7, Bishop h3, and all that. But I think with black, maybe we should be more circumspect and just try to play solidly. They determine who's the luckiest player. Yeah. We know who the most unlucky player is in the candidates. That's been determined. Okay, dude, Fischer was straight up paranoia. You know, I mean, some of the things he said may have had a basis, but he said a lot of things that were based on absolute paranoid delusional. You know, don't even try to deny it. The guy was like clinically paranoid. I mean, he thought that people were following him around, man. I mean, this is not a joke, you know. There may have been some collusion or cheating of some sort, but I mean, Fischer thought like everything around him was like, you know, totally arranged. The Russians were out to get him. They were following him to his apartment, you know, I mean, he probably thought this like into the 90s. Now I guess I should play knight b4. Does that seem right? I never played the system, so I'm really thinking here. Somehow I want to play knight to b4, but what do I do after knight a3? I mean, actually, for that matter, if I played knight b4, he could even play knight e1. I mean, it seems too late. It's basically too late to play knight b4. Well, I mean, Aronian has to be the most unlucky player in the candidates. Every single time he plays, he does horribly, you know, and he underperforms his rating every single tournament. You know, I've given up on him now. Next time he'll probably win it because you know, if I give up rooting on someone, they'll probably win. It's got to be very tempting to indeed collude against the guy who's like the strongest, though. I'm sure that there's some truth in Fischer's paranoias. But yeah. Anyway, back to modern history. It should be a good World Championship match, though. I mean, Caruana has a legitimate chance. More so than the other guys. But Karyakin showed... What Karyakin did was he showed, really, you know, how legitimately beatable Carlsen looks in this match format. Now, I play this way with white testosterone, but I'm not used to playing with black. You played this basically correctly. If I take, you play maybe queen a4. So I guess black just needs to play like bishop e7 and try to be solid here. Guys, subscribers to the stream, you guys can bring your games tomorrow night. I have a stream at 7 p.m. Thursday night. Thanks for the top cheer. 14 from Acerbate. You guys, 14, 11, and 10. You got a badge for 10. Not a bad bargain. We've been a little bit low on the bits this past couple weeks. I wasn't streaming for 9 days. That everybody hates me. When I went to play my tournament, lost all my bits donations. Can you even say the words Karyakin is world champion? Well, he nearly was, and that would have been very disturbing. You know, it would have. Well, it really would have. Also, maybe it would have been good in a way because it would have shown how stupid the World Championship, you know, candidates system really is. Maybe then someone would stop to think about it, you know, how ridiculous this match number of games is, and if Karyakin became world champion, it would have highlighted the problem at hand, basically. Now, if Caruana wins, probably no one will say anything because he's a little more higher rated than higher ranked than Karyakin. But nevertheless, like 10 games shouldn't, or whatever, 12 games shouldn't determine the World Championship. It's not enough games. It's really not enough games. Like, if you lose the first game, you're way behind, way, you know, what do they say? You're like, trying to think of the expression. Anyway, behind the 8 ball would be like one of the expressions you could use. Testosterone is talented, but he's also impulsive. Okay, knight h4, bishop e4. I thought that you should play f3 here. That'd be the best way to try to justify this. After knight c4, I could take with the pawn. Do you have something then? Because I have a double threat. No, I don't. Maybe this is actually okay for testosterone. He can't play e3 though. So we should at least be okay. I mean, there's no way to play e3 because of g5. Bishop e3, knight g4 looks kind of weird. But to be perfectly frank, I think that white is better. And knight h4 is suspicious because you're moving away from the center. And I think I wouldn't play that with white. I mean, I guess, like, optimal games, yeah, you have to consider, like, people getting tired. Like, the Kasparov-Karpov match that went on forever and was, like, called off. That's what could happen if the match is too long. When is the match starting for the World Championship? Does anybody know? I don't see anything better than this. The knight is embarrassed on h4. November. Well, at least it's not a non, thank God. But as I said, it really felt like Carlsen had free passes for a number of years. Am I just winning here? Testosterone played the opening perfectly, but I don't like knight h4. Maybe knight e5. That's also not a developing move. But if I'm not mistaken, that might be the move. There's a game that I saw Wojtkiewicz played with white. It's in the Opening Explorer. I think Alec was like one of the best Catalan players in the world and a personal friend of mine. I think he played this against the guy Rene or Stern. Or maybe it was Igor Stern. Yeah, it must have been Igor Stern. Somebody named Stern, but there's a couple of those. I guess it was Igor Stern. Wojtkiewicz Stern. I think knight e5 here, actually. Which is funny because you think the knight on c6 is misplaced. And so you wouldn't want to trade it off under any circumstances. But he can't really take on e5 without letting you take on e5 and then losing control of d5. Wojo weapons. Now, Wojo was great, man. With white in the Catalan. If you want to play the Catalan, I mean, you wouldn't even need to buy a book. You could just, like, literally download all of Wojtiewicz's games and just copy his repertoire. I mean, there's really no need for anything else. Should I take there first on e3? I'm having hallucinations now. Oh, this is a weird position. It looks like I can't literally win by force. Oh, it's like a tactics problem. I have a clear shot. We have queen d6. I just saw it. He resigned, but I saw it as he was resigning. You know, I had the feeling there was something better here. Yeah, queen d6. I'm glad I took my time because it just felt like there ought to be a win for black. You know, the problem is if I take on h4, he plays bishop f4. Yeah, there's no defense to that, right? Yep. So Larry Christensen says, if you see a good move, there's a good chance there's a better one. You know, so take your time and check for it. Yeah, queen d6 a little bit stronger. But again, if we go back to move 9, move 8, yeah, it's knight e5. I played this position with white before. I don't see the aforementioned game, but it could be there. It's possible the Stern, you know, Wojtkiewicz Stern game was like a move earlier or something. Possibly he played it without castling or something. Bishop e7, knight c3. Yeah. But anyway, the point is that this is the right idea. He's played knight h4. I'm sure they have. There's 3 games with knight h4. But it's not clear what black should do. Looks like my move is only second best. As I said, after bishop e4, f3, I still think white is better. There's only one game. This guy Demchenko is pretty decent. There's only one game with d takes c4. This is not that convincing either, though. Knight takes f5, e takes f5, and it's like a Slav with my knight on c6. It's not a Slav, but it feels like... Maybe this is theoretically better than what I did. This guy still lost. Okay, white still has some advantage. I hear black played a very passive move, rook b8. Maybe that can be improved. I don't know. Alright, guys, let's play some more games. I've got like enough time for 3 more, it looks like. Acerbate, subscriber. Let's play him next. Igor Stern. I never met that guy. Where is he from, originally? I heard the name, but... sounds... Russian. Could be a number of European countries, though. I mean, Igor. They also use that name in, like, what, Slovenia? Various Russian republics. He was born and raised in Dallas. No. Alright, let's go. Unusual openings. We'll play a3 with Acerbate. Adolf Anderson against Paul Morphy. Good answer, Acerbate. g6. I like g6 against a3. Maybe one of the best moves. If I try to occupy the center now, I have the move a3, which really doesn't benefit me at all. So, multi-time Texas State champion. Yeah, but he's definitely from another place before he lived in Texas. Out of curiosity. I assumed it was like an old guy. Well, middle-aged or older than me, in other words. The only thing I can think of with a3 is to make it useful, you know, that the bishop is able to retreat. Well, if I could get like 3-to-1 odds on Caruana, I'd probably place a bet. Doesn't seem like Carlsen should be that much of a favorite. 2.5-to-1, I would probably think would be more fair. Maybe black should just play e5, or rather d5 here. Okay, this setup looks kind of rope-a-dope, but it's actually not bad. Though I think the knight is more naturally placed on e7 now. I thought that's why you played it. Now, knight f6 is kind of weird. Blocking your bishop on g7. Super slow motion. I'm giving Caruana total credit, man. I mean, he has an absolute chance. Does anybody know who helps Caruana prepare his openings and who his second is? I mean, does he have someone he always works with in particular? I'm not really knowledgeable on that. mean, Lawrence Trent is okay, but the guy needs to get like a top player to be his second dude. I mean, this is now becoming serious. It's okay if Lawrence Trent is like your business partner, but you know, that's like hiring me to be the second to the world champion. I mean, you need to be like in there with another top player, not Lawrence Trent. Lawrence Trent can be his business manager, but he needs like, you know, a 2700 player to help him prepare. He must have another top grandmaster among his friends who helps him. I don't know. I mean, if he wants to hire me, you know, to supplement Lawrence Trent, that's fine. But seriously, you got to get somebody really, 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 really strong. You know, Kramnik hiring Geary, it wasn't enough to help him, but I still think as far as openings go, you know, that's the kind of player you need. Like another top player. I think one thing that happens with certain players, they have an ego thing. So I don't know how it is with Caruana, but occasionally you'll see top players who refuse to work with other top players because of their egos. You know, they just don't want to accept anyone else as their equal. So they'll only work with people who are like, you know, below their status level. So they, you know, they don't have to like question their masculinity or whatever. But Caruana never came off across to me as like arrogant or anything, or egotistical. Like particularly, I mean, okay, I mean maybe every grandmaster is like slightly egotistical, but Fabiano always came off as pretty balanced. It's just ironic that you're saying about Sinkfield and all this sponsorship. Man, Masturbate is just coming to kill me. Because it's like Italy that actually caused Caruana to be so good. It seems kind of ironic, you know. I really like the way Masturbate is playing. He's like, you guys were like, hey, those 1300s are tough. This is really spicy, you know, knight g4, bishop h6. Why? I always thought Fabiano was really polite, you know, not arrogant, pretty normal. Okay, I haven't met him that many times, just a couple times, but I have a good opinion of him. You know, he wasn't a punk like Hikaru. King h1. Speaking of punks, the other day at the Hungarian Team Championship I saw Volokitin, who I hadn't seen in years, since he was like trying to kick my feet under the table the last time we met. Alright, let's just play h3 and then bust him with f4. We don't need to trade on e6. Probably best not to. In all seriousness, like the last time I spoke to Hikaru, I'm on pretty good terms with him. But he was a punk when he was a kid, you know. He's okay now. But he was definitely not well liked when he was young. Alright. He mellowed out though. Masturbate. Maybe knight h5 here with some counterplay. Man, he's coming with the moves, the endless supply of good moves. Masturbate, you're 1400, you're not allowed to beat me. But you can give it the college try. If you beat me, everyone is going to accuse you of being a computer. Hey, Soltigo, I'm sorry, how long have you been here? I didn't even say hi or anything. You've been here for a while, too. Man. Masturbate just coming with it Queen h4 as well. Finally, you went too far. I mean, that's the offer of a pawn. Yeah, I ought to just take on e6 and take on e5 now. The thing is, he's neglected his development of his queen side. So this exchange is actually good for me. I mean, I was thinking of all sorts of things, even queen e1, but possible I have some crazy thing like g4 embarrassing his knight on h5, but I don't really want to take that risk. You have a canyon in front of your house. TTT WWW. You're like, ho ho ho. He just sacked the house. Wow. That is a good plan, dude. He just sacked the whole house. Absolutely best. Michael Jadube. That's the rate. After you playing this great pawn sack, now you hung a piece. Okay, you need to play rook takes f1, queen takes f1, rook f8. I'm not sure if it's enough though, but it looks like the only try. Just dropped a piece here. I was getting kind of scared. No, he just went into total panic mode. Actually, knight takes f4 may be a mistake. Knight g3 check. It's not that simple. Yeah, I should just take everything. Bishop takes, rook takes, knight takes, and we're up a piece. It's very deep. Alright. Anyway. You're just 5 plus take. I'm dyslexic. I'm always dyslexic when I'm like +5. No, but poor Asterbate, like he really played a good game. I was actually getting pretty worried there. Are you saying that Hikaru is corrupt? I don't follow the latest gossip on chess.com. Not my thing. Well, we know about the Aronian thing. But everybody's done that in the heat of battle, you know. I mean, not everybody, but many people. Kasparov did it against Judith Polgar. I mean, Eugene Perlstein tried to take back a move against me. Like, he picked up his knight and moved it in an L shape. And then, after, like, leaving it there in his hand for, like, 2 seconds, he put it back and then said Jadub. I mean, it's pretty common. It's actually quite common. I wouldn't condemn someone to, like, life in prison because of that. But it doesn't show a lot of moral fiber. What did Akshat do? I'm curious, though. What did he do? Alright, this is over. It was like a personal grudge. I'm not paying attention enough here. I thought the guy must have actually done something, like cheated. Did Perelstein insist on that you do? Yeah, I had to call a witness, someone who was watching the game. And it was very unpleasant, you know. This is an old story, though. He was just a teenager. But it was particularly awkward because both of us were like studying with Roman Gigiashvili. And so I kind of thought he was like almost like not a friend, but you know what I mean? Like we're almost on the same team. It was very weird. Alright, so next up we're gonna play 2 more games. Half-Blood Prince, this is 6+3, and then a 5+3. You're somehow right, but in Hikaru's case, not the only bad behavior. He castled both hands versus Nepo. He acted like a brat his whole career. Well, I haven't seen him lately. You know, he seemed like he was getting better, but maybe not. At last I checked, you know, he knocked over all the pieces against me, dude. And the last time I played him in live chess in Bermuda in a blitz tournament, I was just winning with queen against king, you know, queen and king against king. And I had like 20 seconds left, and he just kept knocking over all the pieces, you know, like really sleazy style, you know, to create maximum confusion. So I flagged with like, most people would have resigned, but instead he like spazzed out and like knocked over the pieces and banged the clock until I lost on time. And this guy was a grandmaster. Well, almost. He was basically becoming a grandmaster. That was in 2003. That's like 15 years ago. But I still thought he was getting better since then. I've been playing a lot of stuff with B6 lately here. But I decided to play this. I used to play this a lot just to kind of avoid mainstream theory. I've never actually played Half-Blood Prince. Who is Half-Blood Prince? New account? Well, it's a pretty new account. Was that also... No, that was against Hikaru, who knocked over the pieces during the blitz game. He was spazzing to win on time. In a situation where most people would have just like politely resigned. Alright. I'm just giving like a timeline, you know. So if he was still doing that kind of stuff in 2003, I mean, I thought he got better though after that. Harry Potter fan? Why am I? Oh, it's the Half-Blood Prince is a Harry Potter. Okay. It's hard to remember all the Harry Potters. There's so many of them, you know, and so many characters. I can't keep track. No, I don't really read Harry Potter. I like my sci-fi a little bit, you know, fantasy sci-fi a little bit more hardcore. No, Knight F3. This is like mainline. Is it true that you need to study all the openings? No, I think you just need to understand. I think you just need to understand the principles behind the openings. Not really like learn all the openings. 75 viewers. Keep the Hikaru stories coming. Has a GM ever punched another GM in the face? I'm sure it's happened. But the funny story about Hikaru was when he told John Fedorovich when he was a little kid, he was like 12. And somehow he had a dispute with Fedorovich. And he told John to F off, and John said he was going to beat up his dad. You know, I thought that was funny. I had that situation numerous times where I wanted to punch someone who was like underage. You know, usually I was like 18 or 19 or 20 or 21, and then they were like 15 or 16 or something like that. Or even cases like later, like with Volokitin, where he was like 16 and I was like 30, and I just wanted to punch his face, but I knew I would obviously get arrested. So there's nothing I could do. It happened with Boris Kryman in the World Open once. Same thing, where he was like 15. and I was like of legal age, so if I punched him, they would arrest me. And what am I thinking of here? I'm gonna play like bishop a5. That's a little bit too much. Usually it's like little kids kicking me under the table that pisses me off. Hikaru, I played 3 times. He never did anything in the long games to bother me though. Yeah. I almost punched someone in a blitz tournament once. But I was actually in the wrong. I mean, that was like a long time ago when it wasn't clear about this 2 hands rule, and I don't know what I did. I must have made a capture with 2 hands, and I don't know. In the blitz tournaments where I played, it wasn't enforced. But the dude just hit my clock back. And I guess that's what they did in the tournaments where he played, but I didn't know what was going on. I didn't understand, like, you know. And anyway, like, he shouldn't hit my clock back. He should stop the clock and probably stop the clock and get the arbiter, you know. He's not the arbiter. You don't hit somebody's clock back. I mean, it's not his call. He has to call the arbiter. So, like, he hit my clock. I'm like, what are you doing, you know? He said, 2 hands. And I said, what? So I didn't understand what the problem was, and then I just moved again. And again, he hammered my clock back. I said, dude, I mean, if you do that again, I'm really going to punch you. And then it took me a while to realize what was going on. He was protesting my capture with two hands. But, you know, his behavior is wrong, too. I mean, I think you just need to stop the clock and get the arbiter if you're going to make a protest. If I'm moving with 2 hands and you don't like it, you know, you're not the judge and jury. You need to, like, go get the arbiter. No, not just hammer my clock back. I was really pissed because I never had that rule enforced on me all my life. And I was in time pressure, and the guy's hammering my clock back. Okay, now my bishop is on a b4 here. That's pretty weird. I don't understand this recapture. But I never really got in a fight with anyone. Once, almost in a very tense game for a big prize in the last round of a tournament. Again, it was the under the feet kicking thing. That's my biggest pet peeve, really. This is my personal space. I'm very sensitive about my personal space. Here, maybe knight e5. We go. However, if I play knight e5, maybe he just plays like bishop e2. Not that easy. Not that easy to decide. I have to make a move. Well, the guy was kind of a weak player. The clock hitting back guy, who I had a really good score against in regular chess. So I was angry because I know that he has no chance against me, like, if he doesn't do something crazy like that. What am I supposed to do here? Bishop c5 is a weird move. I feel like I'm playing this is really weird. I feel like I'm playing the Budapest Gambit. Ambulance. As long as you don't kick my feet under the table, twirl pawns like in front of my line of vision, or eat loudly at the board, I'm pretty easygoing. The other thing is like incessantly offering draws. You offer like 2 or 3 draws in a row. You know, like when Volokitin was like putting his feet under my chair, and I looked at him and he knew that I was pissed about it, but he wouldn't move them away. I mean, you know, I need to go get the arbiter. There's nothing else to do. You know, I had to go get Carol Jarecki and tell her that, oh, you know, I'm sorry, but I have to ask you to help me, like, remove my opponent's feet from under my chair. This really shouldn't happen, you know, but the guy was just doing it to, like, unsettle me. I saw him the other day, and I was like, who is that guy? Why is he so familiar? It's like a little weasel. Djurovic, what? Yeah, John almost beat me up once too. I stole his last beer. I've told this story maybe once, but we were staying together at a tournament with Fedorovich, and every round he would like buy a 6-pack of Budweiser and put it in the sink with a lot of ice for after the game. And he had a really long game against Artashes Manassian, and it was really, really tense. And my game was over pretty fast, and we both had 3 beers. But somehow I just lost a pawn here. I'm getting too distracted with my storytelling. That sucks. Anyway, I'm going to lose a pawn. That's life. So I basically waited and waited and waited, but Fedorovich's game was so long that I ran out of beer. So I was like, well, debating whether or not to drink one of John's beers. And it came down to the situation where basically he had like a 6.5 hour game or something. Super, super long. And the thing was, the critical element of the thing was that there was no place to go and buy more. Like, we're in this really out of the way place where the tournament was being held. So that was the main problem. There's just nothing to do here. My old plans don't work. Okay, I'm just down a pawn. I wanted to play d5 really, really bad, but it just doesn't work. He has g3, and all my variations fail. That was the whole trick, to try to get the guy over there. That sucks. So I'm just down a pawn, playing the black side of the Budapest Gambit, basically. So anyway, to finish the story, go home. To finish the story, I decided after a long time that okay, John is gonna win, and since he's gonna win, my reasoning was that he'll be in a really good mood. Like, he's having a really, really good tournament. He's gonna be in a really good mood. So I can get away with drinking one of his beers. And so I decided to try to drink one of John Fedorovich's beers, but this was one of the worst things I've ever done. It was a very bad idea that I regret. Don't ever drink one of their last beers. One of their only beers. He almost beat me up. I was extremely angry. How could you drink my... Only... I thought 2 would be enough, man. Alright. Gotta go for it. We do have some counterplay. Probably not enough, but some. Eh? Some counterplay. He basically paralyzed my rooks and stuff. Clearly a good player. Should have gone to f5 probably. This is a really well played game by White. He's just winning here. I mean, it's a clear pawn up with a positional advantage. I got too excited during the storytelling and lost the pawn. I think this is the first time I played with this player. I made a mistake with playing like bishop c5 probably. This was just too creative. This is the point where I was thinking a long time in the opening, and I wanted to play knight e5, which the computer likes, but I rejected this because of bishop e2. There's actually a game from 2017. I was afraid that White might still be better here after bishop e2. Well, maybe the truth is that he is. There's one Chinese, I guess these guys are Chinese players, I don't know, 2017. It's a 2017 and 2017. But this was like really kind of dubious what I did by playing bishop c5. The computer's giving him a massive edge after that. I didn't think it would be that bad, but it looks bad. Because of knight e4, it's just forced. I didn't think I was losing this pawn so quickly. Yeah, it's just bad. Alright. Another Harry Potter fan who was playing us was Julian Proleco. He had a Harry Potter related name. But he's like a master. He's like 2200. I drank 4 beers out of 6, and there was 2 beers remaining. It was beyond my normal quota. So, it was a long game. I had to pay the price, though. If I remember correctly, I think I ended up, like, buying another beer from someone else, somehow, in the hotel, to kind of make up for it. But I feared for my life for a while. Alright, guys. It's 81 viewers. This is the last game for today. Got a lot of viewers. This is awesome for a morning stream. They like the beer stories. What was the weirdest thing I ever saw happen in a tournament? I'd have to think about that for a while. What was the weirdest thing I ever saw someone doing through a chess tournament? I was thirsty. I was drinking a lot at that time. We had certain issues. Okay, let's try something weird. It was a difficult period in my life. Knight f3. And d4, knight f6, knight f3. I want to play something outside my normal repertoire. I wanted to play, yeah, a3. This is the pre-A variation. Weirdest thing I ever saw someone doing through a chess tournament. I can think of like individual things that were weird. I mean, I always tell the story about how we saw physical violence at the US Open. Well, you know, one of the funny things when you see an old man like at the US Open sit down and start to play a move at the wrong board. Like someone comes up and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing? That's my game." I mean, I've moved twice in a row, but I don't think I could quite sit down at the wrong board and start to make moves. I've seen that happen. One time, well, one thing I didn't understand, one time I saw Victor Frias like taking off his pants at the board at the U.S. Amateur Team Championship. He was like stripping down to his boxer shorts at the board. I don't think I ever did find out exactly why he was doing that. R.I.P. Victor passed away some year, quite a few years ago now. But that I didn't understand. There's these two instances where I made moves twice in a row. They're just like senile, I guess, old people, Maybe they were sitting next to somebody and like paid really close attention to the game and started imagining it was their game or something. And then when they came back from the bathroom, they forgot that was just the game they were watching or something. I mean, weird things happen. I mean, if you know anybody who has like dementia or something, I mean, it's definitely very believable. If you got like an 80-year-old chess player, I mean, it's certainly well within the realm of possibility. So, I think I did that twice, moving twice. The second time wasn't as memorable. The first time was funny, but I've told that story a lot. I don't know, we're talking about like, maybe 1,600 players. Just lower boards at the US Open. I mean, just something I saw when I was walking around. Roman Dzidziashvili claimed he pulled a trick on Walter Brown at the Olympiad where he like glued his c-pawn down. I mean, I wasn't there and I don't have any witnesses. But this is what Roman claimed. He said he did this because Brown just kept coming late every single round. And he was pissing the whole team off by doing this, like getting in time pressure and then coming late before the game to begin with. So Gingy thought to teach him a lesson, he would glue down his a6 pawn. No, it was the c pawn because it was the first move. I think it was the c pawn. I mean, now that I think about the story, it's possible that Roman glued down the a6 pawn because he knew it would be a Najdorf. Like, he was 100% sure that White was an open Sicilian player and Walter was going to play the Najdorf. So it would be more suspenseful if it happened like on move 5 or whatever than the first move, because the whole, turn would be kind of settled down by then. And like he picks up the A pawn and the whole board goes flying because it's like a paper board. But it's a good practical joke. I don't know. I don't have any confirmation that's true. That's actually true or it was made up by Roman. But Black's playing this really well. But can I just play b4? I don't think I can actually take this pawn on a7 though. I mean, my bishop will get trapped. But in any case, I don't know, b4 kind of weakens my queen side. I can play knight d2. It took me a little while to figure this out. I can play knight d2 and then my bishop has retreat squares. I didn't want to put my knight on c3. But Black has played this like ultra solidly. You pulled the table out from your opponent's elbows. Yeah, practical jokes. But now b4, and his knight has to go to a6. Even if my pawns are on the wrong color, which I'm not really that happy about, I kick his knight back to an extremely bad square. Of course, he has knight c7, knight b5. Maybe I miscalculated this. Knight a6, if queen a4, he has several good moves. And, yeah, on queen a4, he actually has knight b6, as well as probably even knight takes e5 and bishop b8. Okay, guys, my subscriber stream is tomorrow night. I'm going to have to cut the stream off after this game. Thanks to everyone for watching. We had a lot of viewers today. I do stream 6 days a week here on lichess. Tomorrow night is my subscriber stream. It's game analysis with subscribers to the Twitch stream. If you guys subscribe and you submit a game, I'll analyze it with you. That's tomorrow night, 7 p.m. here on lichess. I just can't do queen a4. That was kind of my plan, but it's not going to be good enough. Alright, we'll try it. I guess I could do queen a4, knight b6, queen b5, knight c7, bishop takes b6. It's possible that both his knights are bad on b6 and a6. If, for example, knight b6, I have multiple moves. Maybe queen a5, or even queen b3 simply. Queen b5 is like asking to get my queen trapped. Bishop takes b6, queen takes b6. My e3 pawn is hanging. And that's no good. We're a little bit better, but I have to watch for this rook penetrating on the 7th. f6, maybe knight back to f3. Not like there's a lot of other options. The queen on b3 looks like it was really the right move, because I'm on that pawn, and I have the diagonal, and he can't really play e5 without risking the d5 square. Just, what am I going to do? He's got way more time than me. I had never played this guy before. Berglas. Oh, he's from the Philippines. I was thinking it's like a Scandinavian name or something. Alright. King h1. a4. e5. I'm about to lose on time. Why am I playing king h1? Because in a lot of lines he's recapturing here, and then the diagonal is becoming an issue. The bishop's just constantly getting attacked with tempo with e5. His knights are kind of bad. He's fast. He's like 1500 in bullet, but he's gonna run me over on time. It's a good thing there's an increment. Well, I don't think I could play this until now. I have a6. That's pretty devastating. He dropped a piece for some pawns here. He just take with the pawn. Alright guys, last game for today. We are out of here. Tomorrow night, subscriber stream. Thursday night, 7 p.m. Game analysis. Thanks for watching and subscribing. Thanks for playing. Did Roman teach his young students the same openings as in his books? 5-card draw. Yeah, I mean, Roman really, you know, he really liked to just work on openings. I mean, he doesn't really have the patience to do other stuff, so he really specializes in his opening systems. Yeah. Mostly just those openings. You know what he plays. Nimzo Indian, King's Indian, Bogo Indian, Queen's Indian, and Accelerated Dragon. A lot of systems, the Joko Piano, that stuff. But he also plays D4, so he has a lot of stuff. Anyway, guys, I will see you later. International Master Will Paschall signing out here. Thanks, Soltigo, for being with us as a moderator. I know that it's really late for you, these morning streams in the European time schedule. Not easy for our moderator to get here. Middle of the night, basically, for you guys in the United States. Thanks for watching. I know it's late. I'm going to be back with a subscriber stream. I'll send an email to the subscribers for that tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Friday will be Blitz again. Fast Blitz on Friday, 5+3 in the morning, 10 a.m. And then Sunday, I'm going to be doing a long simul this week, guys. So, a 60-40 simul. 60-40 simul. It could last really pretty long, like 4.5 hours plus. So if you guys want to play a serious game on Sunday, 6 p.m. Central European time, summertime here, and it will be 60-40 simul for 25 players. So that'll be the first time I've done a kind of long simul. I've done 40-40, but this is going to be like 60-40, so even a little bit longer. Okay, guys, I will see you then for the subscriber stream tomorrow night. Thanks again, Soltigo. Thanks everyone for watching and subscribing. I'm signing out, and enjoy. I will see you tomorrow. Guys, for the simul, how many games needed? Well, that's really just up to me, you know, on a case-by-case basis. I will see you guys. You know, you're not required to have a certain amount of games, acerbate, just as long as I know who you are. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.